Hello, Zach here again with another random map game. Today I am slightly more awake than my last video, and for some reason I have no idea why. I was really tired in that last video, so you have to take my apologies for that, and hopefully I can stay awake for this one. Not that it wasn't a boring game or anything, it was just me being totally tired for some unknown reason. Anyway, today we are looking at RVK Dogao versus ctbz. I'm not sure who the blue guy ctbz is. I know he's got to be fairly decent though, because he is up against Dog here, and as we know, Dog is pretty darn pro. They're both playing as Persians, and just to confirm that, blue over here playing as Persians on the Nomad map, which basically means you start with 3 villagers. Well, as they're Persians, they start with 3, and you have to build your town centre from scratch. And that's exactly what we're going to see. They've also got extra wood to start with on this map, which means that they can build a dock early on, which is exactly what Dogao's done. And he's built a dock here. He's throwing his town centre down there. He's got enough wood for a couple of houses as well. He can't get a fishing ship out yet, but as this villager was close to the water, he thought, you know what, I'll put a dock down there. And it turns out he's put a dock in a very good position. He's close to some very big fish, 2 really close there, and some other really, lots and lots of big fish in the water right there, which is great for him. Also as well, let's have a look at the map. Well, Nomad, we all know, it's surrounded by water, and there is land in the middle. Very important to explore as much as you can early on. As you can see, Dogao hasn't actually found any sheep yet, which is a little bit worrying. He has got deer close by, but obviously you can use sheep to scout with, like ctbz also isn't doing, because he's not found any yet. That's not good. Neither of these guys finding any sheep. So he's actually scouting with one of his villagers here. He knows where the water is. He knows you can put a dock there if you need be. And they're basically looking for where gold is and where the important resources on the map are. ctbz in a great position though with 3 boars really close by. And Dogao can't really say the same for him. He's not got so much food nearby at all. A couple of sheep down here, quite a few deer, more sheep down here as well, but he's going to have to scout it, and that could take some time. Also as well, let's have a look at a bit more of the map. Well, all the gold is in the north of the map up here. Pretty much all of it is just in this little area. In fact, it is all in this little area. That's not gold over here. So basically, they're going to be fighting it out quite a bit for this gold up here, I believe. As we get to the feudal age, we'll see that, I'm sure. These guys are probably going to be fighting out a lot for this gold and the stone up here as well. They've both got stone near their starting bases, where they've decided to plonk their town centres down, which is kind of handy. It does mean that they'll both be able to get out some watchtowers as well once they reach the feudal age. And I love Nomad because it's just usually so messy. The whole of the Nomad game is generally just messy, because it's like there's not one place where you can just stay, because obviously where you put your town centre is very much dependent. It's kind of lucky, I suppose, where you put your town centre, but obviously where you put it is dependent on where you have to go and attack to secure important areas of the map. And no doubt Dog is fairly close to this gold. He's going to gather that, but ctbz is going to have to gather something from back here. Perhaps he'll put a watchtower on the gold pile over here to make sure it is secure. Both these guys getting out plenty of fishing ships. Always important to do this on Nomad, as obviously you are fairly slow to get up to the feudal age due to the fact that you don't start with your town centre. So getting these extra fishing ships out, very vital, and it does provide a massive boost to your economy if you've got good fishing ships. And as you can see, ctbz, quite a few fishers up here. His fish aren't as amazing as Dogao's, but I don't think that's too much of a problem for the time being. Once they get to the feudal age, we'll most likely see galleys as well. ctbz just actually scouting this. He knows there's a dock there, and I'm clicking it mercilessly because I want to see what he does. And this villager is just scouting around still. ctbz score lead, probably due to the fact that his scouting is absolutely awesome. Comparing the scouting between Dogao and ctbz there, ctbz massive advantage with the scouting. He's scouted almost the entire map, and he's putting a dock here, which indicates to me he's going to go up to the feudal age, get some galleys out, and start to attack Dogao. He's definitely going to be into the feudal age first, and thanks to ctbz's great scouting, he knows exactly where all this gold is, and he is going to start gathering that up very early on, so he can get out plenty of galleys and take the water control. In Nomad, it's kind of really important that you balance both your water control and your military ground force, because obviously these guys are both very open, they're very close to each other, and there's no way they can make a wall off realistically. So it's very important that you don't let your opponent harass your economy on the ground too much, but it's also very important that you get plenty of galleys out and take water control. As you can imagine, these fishing ships will provide a massive boost to the economy of Dogao here, and I think he knows exactly what ctbz's up to. I'm pretty sure he's seen both of these docks going up, and he can pretty much well assume that there are going to be galleys coming out of there in a matter of seconds, because ctbz ups the fuselage. There we go, galleys being queued. He's not queuing one up here, but he is queuing a galley here. This villager is going to complete this dock, and I imagine a galley is going to come out here. He's got enough resources for it. There we go, galley's coming out, and Dog is going to feel the pressure very, very quickly here. He is retreating down to his dock down in this location, and ctbz is going to be piling on the pressure very quickly. But Dogao is starting to build a barracks already on the mainland, and he is probably looking to get aggressive on the ground force. I imagine he's not gonna give up easily on the water, but I also imagine he will be trying to focus on the ground now, because he knows his opponent's gonna have an advantage over at the water. Galley's already out, and there's the second one for ctbz. Is he queuing any more up? I imagine so. Yeah, he's got another one on the way, and that could be enough for him to pretty much clear out Dogao's ships, and that is not good for him at all. Dogao, though, pressing forwards with his ground attack, throwing up a watchtower there, and that is going to be really great for him. He's going to be able to use that to keep the pressure on in this location. He's building an archery range just behind it, and I imagine he's going to go for archers, as Persians, pretty decent archers, I suppose. He will be able to get archers out and try, hopefully, harass ctbz's economy over here. ctbz just getting a barracks out at the back, and no doubt he will get an archery range of his own pretty soon. ctbz's fish completely safe for the time being, though, and Dogao under a lot of threat on the water. As you can see from the scores, ctbz jumping way ahead, as Dogao is losing a lot of economy from this, and that is exactly not what he wants to happen. I don't think he's even going to bother fighting for the water. He's not building any galleys whatsoever, so my thoughts are that Dogao's just going to give up on the water. He knows it's lost, which is it's a risky decision. Obviously now he's going to invest a lot more heavily into a ground attack, but you've got to bear in mind ctbz's going to have all of these fishers up here, and they are going to provide a massive boost to his economy. So it's a little bit of a risky move from Dogao. He's hopefully going to try and make it pay off by getting the ground attack in place and pretty much taking out as many villages as you possibly can of ctbz. As you can see, queuing up archers right now. He's not got that many villagers gathering gold, though, I must say, and although ctbz spent a little bit of gold on these galleys, he's not really invested so heavily in water that he's not capable of defending himself on the land. As you can imagine, ctbz getting out some archers of his own, and a skirmisher as well. Skirmishers just to fill the gaps, I suppose. Obviously, skirmishers great against archers, and if you know your opponent's going to make archers, make skirmishers. Makes perfect sense. He's not got fletching yet, and I imagine ctbz doesn't have fletching either. No, not just yet. In fact, he doesn't have a blacksmith yet, so that is to come. And fletching, again, I say this all the time, it's always so important. You get fletching when you can. It gives your watchtowers extra range and extra attack, gives your archers and skirmishers and cavalry archers extra attack. It's just so worthwhile getting it, as archer units are very, very important and very useful at this stage in the game, when you can attack your opponent's economy very easily with them and pretty much hit and run. Dogao is just building up some more of an army. I don't know where he's taking them. I see. He's off up to the north, having a bit of a skirmish with ctbz. Another thing I love about the Nomad map is that it is very open. It allows for very open combat. And Dogao trying to launch an attack over here. He's obviously noticed there is a watchtower. Caution, alert, danger, there is a watchtower. Don't get too close, otherwise your archers will get pwned. But he is chasing ctbz back across the map, and ctbz a little bit out of formation, I suppose. It's not much use if you're just getting one of your units picked off, but he is going to rally back here and probably take out this force from Dogao. He's going to push him back at any rate, but Dogao is relentlessly continuing to build army, and he's got a fair few skirmishers and archers there. He's got +1 attack and range, which means fletching is complete, as for ctbz as well. Danger, there's a watchtower. What are you doing? Get away. Yeah, you can't really attack these with archers unless you stick them right at the base. As you'll see, Dogao carelessly losing a few men there to that watchtower. Not really worth it. I don't think he killed any villagers. Pretty much a careless attack from him, whilst ctbz is keeping his army safe at his base. But Dogao trying to, I think that's probably a watchtower right there. Yeah, he's probably trying to build, there it is, another watchtower. Unfortunately, not going to go up for him. retreating to the safety of his own watchtower, and he's got 4 stationed around ctbz's base, so he's getting very aggressive with that. But we've got to bear in mind ctbz has got plenty of fishes on the water right now, and his economy is looking pretty strong. Dogao 53 and ctbz 64 population, mainly accounted for by the amount of fishes he's got on the water. It was a really, I don't know if it was a big mistake that Dogao let his fishes go, but it's definitely impacted him, and he needs to make up for lost ground as fast as he possibly can, really. I'm going to speed things up just a wee bit, and I imagine Dogao will try and get this watchtower up. I don't know how successful he's going to be. No, he's not. ctbz throwing a watchtower up there as well in defense, and that is going to mean that Dogao is not going to have very much luck attacking, and in comes ctbz at the back. Ooh, he's killed off a couple of villagers over here, and he's going to kill off a few more by the looks of things. This is really not good for Dogao. He's getting harassed very badly, and it's going to be a while before this watchtower goes up. By the time it does go up, he's already lost 5 or 6 villagers, and ctbz is making his retreat. He's also forced Dogao's army back away from the front line, which means that ctbz has a little bit of breathing room, really. As he's already got, well, not that as he has, but I'm just pointing out, he's already got +1 armor defense, so has Dogao. So these guys pretty neck and neck on upgrades, but this gold is so important here. I don't know why ctbz is gathering gold from here. He could just do it from here. It would be perfectly safe to do so. But this gold, really important area of the map, and Dogao with a watchtower back here. I don't really know what he was planning to do with that one. It's not really in range of either of these gold camps, but nevertheless, trying to be a little bit strategic there. And a little bit more of a skirmish going on in the middle ground. It looks like Dogao is going to win this one, but oh wait, no he's not. ctbz coming in from the side with more archers, a watchtower going up as well, and this is not looking promising for Dogao right now. He's getting pushed back, and ctbz with these fishes on the water is getting a nice little advantage. But saying that, where have his fishes gone? Well, actually, they've been killed off because Dogao has actually managed to make a few galleys, and he's now, I think he's killed off the whole of ctbz's fishes. So maybe that explains why the score leaped as it did, and Dogao is actually climbing back up in the scores right now. As this game is getting even more messy, it's harder to see exactly what is going on. Dogao is back on par with the water, so it's fair to say that although he lost a bit of ground with the economy with the water, look at the population, 61 to 55. Dogao has definitely caught up a little bit here, but in come some more archers and skirmishers. They're going to pick off some more villagers. Great harassment from ctbz. He's done some great harassment this whole game, and Dogao, I've got to say, hasn't really got much harassment under his belt at all. He's not picked off many of ctbz's villages whatsoever, and I've got to say ctbz's economy is looking a lot stronger right now as well. You know, he's not playing this as great as I thought he might. Still attacking watchtowers with his archers and skirmishers, not a good idea. You want to get out of there, son, and try and attack him where it hurts. This is very open right here. He could come in here, kill off a few villagers, even come into this location. There's no watchtower defending this, and he would have plenty of kills to even things out a little bit. It's unfortunate that he doesn't decide to go for that just yet. Maybe he will in a bit. I don't know. We'll have to see. But you've got to say, Dogao doesn't really have that much army at the moment, and ctbz has, I'm going to say, he doesn't have that much either. Both these guys taking heavy losses for the duration of this game, really. Really getting defensive and offensive with these watchtowers, trying to secure this gold in the middle. ctbz, as you can see, watchtowering this gold twice to make sure that if any archers do decide to station themselves at the bottom, they'll still get killed off by the other one, and a watchtower on this one as well, just to make sure that he has got full gold control. If this game does go into the long run, which it very may well, Dogao is going to be struggling for gold, that is for sure. He needs to start pushing out and take out these watchtowers when he gets into the castle age if he thinks this is going to be a long game. We'll have to see what he makes of that. And ctbz coming around the back, is he going to take out some of these exposed miners? We will have to wait and see. I imagine he may just do that. He's on the right trajectory, and hello, more dead villagers from Dog. So Dogao losing even more villagers than he has to. This isn't so great from him. He is losing a ton of villagers, and it's a shame, really. His economy has been harassed a very large amount this whole game, and ctbz just happy with the way things are going. Although Dog has got a galley stationed here, this is why water control is also good. If you get some water control, bring some galleys down, you could pick off quite a lot of villagers. at the back of your opponent's base. But ctbz starting to gain a score lead now, and Dogao with the army advantage in this little location, he is probably going to take out ctbz here. If not, all of his army is going to die unless he retreats just now. Yeah, he's going to save a few men there, but he took some losses. And ctbz is on the way up to the castle age, and Dogao is a little way away yet from that, so maybe it's going to be a little while before Dogao can get up to the castle age. But I imagine we will see some knights when these guys decide to advance. Knights on this map are going to be incredible. They're going to be able to really kill off a lot of villagers, especially, you know, get a couple of knights in here. All of these villagers are going to be toast. Definitely a lot more effective than skirmishers at any rate. And as you can see, ctbz trying to wall off as much as he can to prevent Dog from doing too much damage to him. I've got to say, ctbz doing a pretty darn good job. Dogao is still not up to the castle age yet. ctbz pretty much nearly there. Oh, and some stables going up as well. Bloodlines being completed, which will give his knights an extra 20 HP, which is going to make them so hard to combat whilst Dog is in the feudal age. This game could be over a lot sooner than I first expected, and if there we go, ctbz into the castle age. If he starts to get out the knights now and bring them into Dogao's economy, which is very exposed to say the least, Dogao is going to have a hard time. Yeah, definitely. If you're in the future, he's oh yeah, I've just noticed he's got some fish backup, which is great for him. But I think it's a little bit too late because he's only, oh, he's still not advancing up to the castle age. He should be in just a second. Maybe he's lacking a building. I'm not sure. He's not advancing yet though. But out comes some knights for ctbz, and this is not looking good for Dogao right now. These knights are probably going to do a ton of damage, a metric ton of damage. They are not afraid of watchtowers with an extra 20 HP. Why would they be? I mean, watchtowers aren't even making a dent. They will absolutely cut to bits all of these skirmishers. And now Dogao in a little bit of panic, I imagine, getting out some spearmen at the last minute to try and combat this. Maybe a little bit too late because he's only just clicked up to the castle age, though he's got plenty of food and a fair amount of gold. In come the knights into Dogao's line of villagers, and he's given it up right there. It's so hard to deal with knights on a map like this when it's just so open. You've got battering rams coming in, you've got too many knights to handle, and simply archers and skirmishers just don't cut it. It's very hard to actually work out the correct time to actually advance. Obviously, as you can imagine, Dogao had so much food there and so much gold as well. If he was in the castle age, he probably would have been able to defend this a lot better, but he stayed in the feudal age in favour of building some more army and trying to harass ctbz a bit more. Unfortunately, he didn't get the harassment. ctbz out-advanced him, out-teched him, and then killed him. So that's pretty much that game. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. A little bit different. It's Persian War, mixing up a little bit, you know. Nomad, always interesting to watch. And yeah, I've been Zach. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.